Hey, this Omar just on here recapping the game between the Chiefs and the Bills AFC game. Whenever one of their games nailed biter coming down to the wire, anytime to hit the top three get together as far as Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Chiefs, is always going to be a game like this where it's going to be close, and what I'm saying, the last team who has possession usually is going to end up winning. What I'm saying? Only one was when Buffalo faced KC and KC had the ball last. I think Mahomes had a turnover or whatever, but usually it's whoever has the ball last that's gonna be the team that ends up winning. But this year as opposed to last year, the turnover battle went the Chiefs' way. Last year, Mahomes had those two interceptions, and that kind of helped, you know, Cincinnati with the comeback in the second half. This year, it was Burrow that was having the turnover bug and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So first downs, it was 23 Chiefs way over the Bengals 18. Third down, the Chiefs was 7 of 14. The Bengals was 6 of 14. So almost even. Chiefs was slightly better by a few percentile. Um, but yeah, them turnovers was key that kind of messed the drives up as far as the Bengals. They had a good recipe as far as like getting the ball out. Don't let him have to do too much on his ankle. And before the game, I thought they was going to lean more on the running game, and they didn't even do that. I guess they trusted Mahomes was gonna get them home because they only had 20 carries as a team for 42 yards. It was all Mahomes. I didn't think that he was gonna last, but they had a phenomenal game plan that was uh that was working. Like it just hike the ball. Most of the passes was coming out the gun, so he could see the pressure and shit like that, and he got the ball out real fast. It wasn't no 3-step drop, none of that shit. We ain't doing all that. We get the ball. He already know it's going either MVS, Juju, Travis Kelsey, and he already knew who he was going to. Didn't really have to work his second and third read or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. That was good. A switch up that they did. Not overexpose him. And so, I mean, you run down the stats. Uh, he had 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You know, 29 to 43, 105 passer rating. MVS, the star for the night, he had a 6 for 116 and a touchdown. Travis Kelsey did his usual 7 to 78, but it was, they was on Burrow ass. I mean, not only with the two interceptions, they got 5 sacks, 12 QB hits. So they kind of finally, showed, yeah, that line, it was all second and third stringers, right? And they showed, what I'm saying, they was blowing that line up for most of the night. And so it was just crazy, man. Like that fucking play where you was like, man, they gonna start. It seemed like now they working teams in KC favor. And so, that fucking third down where you giving them two third downs after you seen they made a play, right? Then you're gonna say, okay, the play never should even went off, right? So then on the next play, they get past interference because he didn't, I think, did he take a sack? Yeah, it's something. It was something, but it was passing the first. And then next thing you know, the Bengals, they stopped them. They didn't end up getting shit on that drive. But the fact that you did some bogus ass shit like that's it's crazy how you just remember like when Brady used to get shit like that, shit where it'll work in their favor type of deal, you know what I'm saying? And so if it be, you know what I'm saying? But he also, I ain't going to take nothing away from how he performed. He performed like a beast, man. 326 on a high ankle sprain, if that's what it is, that's a monster. Cause normally you ain't supposed to be performing any other position. they not really doing that shit. If you out there and you on the skill position, running backs and shit, you ain't no good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Joe Burrow, he was 26 and 41, 271 touchdowns, 2 picks. They ran the ball not as much as you thought. You know, Mixon only had 8 carries for 19, and as a team they only had 71. So that was like way under what you thought coming into the game. They should have leaned on Mixon and P Ryan a little more, you know what I'm saying? But they got away from that. Chase really was a non-factor. Higgins was the one that you seen as you was watching the game, like, yeah, okay, they liked the matchup because uh I think Higgins had the number 2 on him. So he was kind of giving them that work, you know. He only had 83. He really should have had more. And if Tyler Boyd had played the game probably would have played out different because he was just dogging the slot. You know what I'm saying? Like you was saying, oh yeah, he gonna have this shit all night. Then he got the leg injury, and they didn't still want to challenge that because that was one of the places where they had a clear mismatch. But you gotta give props to KC defense. They stepped up and a lot of times people say, "Oh yeah, KC don't got no defense," and it's like, nah, you gotta look like they good. They good at exposing certain things, sort of like the Bengals, where situationally they can exploit. Like they saw it was a weak offensive line, so the Spagnoli dude said, "All right, we just gonna pressure them, and eventually." The lines is just gonna have cracks, and because them boys ain't that they not better than our packages, our blitz packages is better than they pass protection, and it showed, and that was one of the keys to their pass rush on Cincy's O line, and then Cincy's pass rush on the Chiefs O line because the Bengals was supposed to do the same thing. They were supposed to blow up the middle and have him like having to shoot because he couldn't do no lateral movement. He not even when he tried to run, he ain't like how it's normal. So where he can get up out of there. If they would have blew that up more, they they probably could have had a different result because when they actually started pressuring a little better in the towards the end of this third quarter and fourth quarter, it was like they were getting him off his spot, you know what I'm saying? But he stayed strong in the pocket, you know what I'm saying? He ain't scared. He ain't no bitch by no means, man. He a tough ass. He a tough ass dude, man. So it's gonna be a real interesting Super Bowl. KC and all they schemes and whatnot with Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, that those plays they gonna call against Philly's underrated pass defense. You get what I'm saying? Because they've been doing a number in the playoffs. What they only allowed 14 points. That's a stout ass defense. I mean, granted it was against Daniel Jones and Purdy. Both guys was they can ball, but like they not what they about to see. They gonna see a whole different animal and this dude on the screen. So it should be an interesting Super Bowl. Like I want to see what that running game of Philly gonna do against the defense. You know what I'm saying? Should be a good Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who I'm going with yet. You know what I'm saying? I probably got to think on it and see some more like numbers and shit before I kind of go with who I'll go with. But it should be a good game. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. All right, thanks for listening.